Do you remember that time when we spoke for the first time earlier this year? That wasn't definitely just now.
Yeah, no, it was definitely before we recorded Boardwalk Empire and The Sopranos.
Is that what's just gone out?
Yes.
I watched them on a plane. Oh my god, that was a long time ago. Yeah. Not that this means anything to anybody anymore, but Happy New Year.
I don't think we even said that in the episode. Yeah,
Must
it's
have done.
2024 and we're... Oh, fucking hell, this is coming out in June. But yeah, we're still on that getting stuff ready grind.
Yes. Yeah. It's still imminent. Baby Duck is cooking. So it really is any day now. That's the terrifying thing. So,
Oh, are you in the window now?
I think, well, I mean, technically, yes. Not, like, officially, what they term full term is 37 weeks onward, and we're currently sitting at 33.
Oh, shit.
So it's entirely possible that she makes an appearance sooner rather than later. But, yeah, still hoping to get a few more recordings under our belts before the inevitable arrival. So inevitable makes it sound like I'm not looking forward to it, and I very much
does.
am.
It doesn't sound. It's not a positive like look forward.
No, I 100% am. And if you, Baby Duck, if you're listening to this at some point many years in the future, I was very much looking forward to you showing up. And then you showed up. It turns out you just suck.
Well, it's fine because she's going to learn to bully you, like all humans should.
And speaking of bullying people, we're going to talk about two shows where people get bullied and beaten quite a lot. But here's my question to you: do we give a shit?
I liked one of them more than the other. For sure.
Yeah, we share that opinion. Okay, so what's the theme? The theme, it's quite a good theme actually. This for this episode, I quite enjoyed the reasoning for including both of these.
Yeah, the theme is spin-offs that could ruin a franchise.
Ruin?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, the theme is just spin-offs, really, of action films.
Yeah,
because they're not normally normally the ones that get spin-offs, I think.
Do you know? I would go one further. I would say there are spin-offs of action films that have significant impact on the action genre and stunt performers, I think. Because if you look at industrially what happened after the Bourne identity, so Treadstone is the spin-off of Jason Bourne, and if you look at what the Bourne films did for action cinema, that is really the birth of super quick cut-in and physical performance that really influenced the Bond films that would come, like Daniel Craig's Bonds. And John Wick, so being obviously the Continental, which is the other show we're going to talk about, although I feel like they're kind of like more, they're feature length, aren't they? There's like 4 feature length episodes, or 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
John Wick really has quite innovative action set pieces as well. Like they refer to this thing called gun fu, which is where you do most of the fight hand to hand, and then you use guns and weapons as like finisher moves.
Yeah,
we've not really seen that before.
And that's what happens when you let stuntmen make a film.
Yeah, and do you know what? The John Wick films, fucking good time, really good fun. Enjoy those. I tell you what, I do want in my John Wick show.
Keanu Reeves.
John Wick.
Yeah, well, it's from the world of John Wick, so it's not.
Yeah, I mean that was always one of the other things I really liked about John Wick was the sort of almost the folklore, like the world building that it had of like, okay, there's this hotel where you can't do business on hotel grounds, and there's this secret society that agree to use this special currency, and it's kind of, as the films go on, it's like grand ideas doing horrible shit. It's like the fact that they call their weapons expert the sommelier, and there's this sort of pretense that it's all high culture, when really what they're talking about is, I need a gun that can like fuck people up. But they say, oh yeah, sir, have you tried the Remington 8 gauge, or whatever it is, that shotgun? But yeah, I'm a big fan of John Wick. I'm less a fan of Bourne, which probably informs my, well, I was about to say it informs my decision to enjoy the Continental more. But actually, Treadstone's just a fucking bad show.
Yeah, should we just get on with dismantling Treadstone?
Let's get it out of the way. Okay. What was yours thinkings on Treadstone?
Well, so my tagline for it should be all the things that annoyed you about Bourne with none of the things that you liked.
Like Matt Damon and ballpoint pens.
Because that's the thing. The thing that I wish that they hadn't taken from the Bourne films is actually that innovative, like, quick cuts to do action that affected cinema, as you mentioned. I don't like it. I think you can hide too much in a cut.
Yes, I
like long single camera track shots that those stunt people have worked really hard to get that all seamless.
And like even just understanding the geography of a scene, and that is something which, as an evolution from one to the other, John Wick does relentlessly. Whenever there's a fight scene in a John Wick movie, you know at all points roughly where the groups of enemies are that are going to come and take him on, and you also know exactly where the fights are going to come from and where they're going to be staged. You absolutely know. That is something that John Wick understands far better than Bourne for that thing.
Yeah, because I think also, like, was it? I know it wasn't the first to do it, but they took shaky cam to like a whole level to be like, look, it's like you're running. And it's like, I don't run in real life because I don't like don't like the way my eyes feel afterwards.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, no, that's a very good point, as well as the quick cuts. It is that steady cam.
Well, it's quick cuts with shaky cam, so it's like, I don't know how you even try to match those cuts up. Oh, you don't have to because there's already another one and another one and another.
Yeah, and I think that's what the makers of John Wick understand. Like, in the same way that you wouldn't quick cut and close up a Fred Astaire dance sequence, you don't do that with a fight sequence that is effectively, it's almost like a dance. Watching John Wick,
watching stunt people behind the scenes, it exactly is a dance.
Yeah,
I think I would argue that maybe they have more choreography for stunts than they do for dance sequences.
Well, it's probably a bit more safety you got to take into account if the act is to make it look like you're actually throwing somebody through a window. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw it just on the topic of stunt people. I saw, and I think it's quite an old interview, but it's an interview with people talking about John Rhys Davies on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
where all the stunt people go up to him and be like, "Oh, hi, I'm the stunt guy that you're going to hit. So, like, just don't." And then apparently he was just whipping that badass around, just beating up on stunt people. Because he'd be like, no, I get it, I won't hit you. And then just be like, bang!
Yeah, I think I've seen that thing where he's literally like, so how many? It's like, how many of you are going to come at me? I think 5 I shot. Right, and he just do his own thing.
Yeah, it's just you, then you. But I saw another one where I think it's on Troy, Eric Bana and Brad Pitt had a standing wager that, like, if you hit me, you pay me, I think it was like $50 a hit. And so they, at the end of it, settled up, and, like, I think Brad Pitt could afford to hit Eric Bana a little more than Eric Bana could hit Brad Pitt. But that's the thing. I think of all the behind the scenes stuff that I see from any film or TV series, the people I'm most interested in hearing from are stunt people.
Yeah, that was definitely my way into watching like behind the scenes documentaries and stuff. I remember
It was
like
The Matrix, I think, for me.
See, I really vividly remember like understanding for the first time, like, oh, people like make movies. Like when I watched the behind the scenes for like Pirates of the Caribbean, because like, say what you want about those films, there's some really good sword fights in those films, particularly that one between Orlando Bloom and Johnny Depp in the barn. That was such a cool sequence. It was a really good fight. It sort of echoes of the fight from The Princess Bride, but sped up. But it was that and like the lightsaber duels, like you know, on Phantom Menace when you got the Duel of the Fates and that.
Yeah, I think the behind the scenes
way.
of them doing Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
Is really because they were just like, yeah, we basically just fucked off and trained for 3 months.
Yeah.
And because it's not like sped up, that they are fighting at full speed.
Yeah.
And
I remember,
I always thought it was sped up. I think when I was younger, and then I watched like the behind the lightsaber or whatever they called it, and it was like, oh, no, these guys are trying to kill each other.
I do remember, like I think it's on one of the DVDs. Like Ian McDiarmid says, "It is all them, ladies and gentlemen," and then it cuts to them like doing, you know, the Obi-Wan spin where they don't hit each other, but they're all going. As holy shit.
Yeah, weirdly, there's a behind the scenes from Hayden Christensen when he was on Ahsoka, and it's
Still haven't watched that.
yeah, it's him doing like the same training but with someone who's playing like a young Ahsoka, and they're doing like lightsaber stuff, and it's still him, and you're just like, and he's doing the same like
He hasn't forgot it.
he's doing the same like I think he does like a twist that's like all the thing that he's always done, just sort of like off to the side of camera.
Yeah.
So you only ever see it in like the background of shots, but he's just flicking the lightsaber around, and it's really cool when actors become stunts people. But also, it's really cool when stunts people make films.
Yeah.
They should have had more control in Treadstone.
Here's an interesting casting choice, and bless her, because I have seen her doing stand-up and actually said hello to her and met her. She's very, very lovely and very, very funny. Kerry Godliman.
Yeah.
What? Like, because, and this is why I don't really want to have her go too much, but her accent isn't great. But that's why I preface it with, she is genuinely hilarious. She is so funny. I really like her stand-up, and I like her other acting bits she's done. This, I don't think it was the best casting choice for her.
Yeah, it is a weird one, because like I suppose it might have been a way into like doing some US telly, but
Oh no, fucking fair play to her. Like, absolutely, I can see that. Yeah, 100%. It just took me out of it so much because, like, but you're so I so know what your accent is, and it's not this, and it's really taking me out of it.
yeah. Well, I mean, luckily it didn't get a second season, so
Well, that is fortunate.
yeah. But also, did you? So I'm not 100% sure I've seen all the Bourne films.
I know I haven't. I think I've only seen Identity and Supremacy.
I think I know to the point that I don't think I recognise that Treadstone was a spin-off of Jason Bourne.
No, it was. I think off the top of my head, I probably wouldn't know. But then after I sat and thought about it for a second, I was like, "Oh, hang on a minute, isn't that like if you were in this is the thing, if you were in a pub quiz and they said, "Oh, what is the organisation that Jason Bourne is created from, or whatever?" I think it would have taken me a good few minutes, but I think I might have got there.
Yeah,
But
I think it might be that Jason Bourne in itself isn't a film that particularly interests me, because it is like the first one was really good because you go, oh, this is new and it's cool, and Matt Damon's pretty cool. And then you're like, okay, you're doing it again, but it's not as fresh.
And no one gets stabbed with a ballpoint pen in the hand, which I have a very, very vivid memory of that happening in The Bourne Identity. But
and then I think so. Sorry, my
no, that's right.
My brain's just like, the only reason, one of the main reasons I don't like is there's too many people.
Yes,
there's too many Jason
100%.
Bournes.
Yeah, definitely. And I was like, I don't know who you lot are. I don't know how you were. And also, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's just that thing. I've said it before, like a number of times. There's been shows where amnesia is a thing, and I was like, there was one point where I was like, because there's a few little bits in Treadstone that I did like, but one point I was like, okay, and this is where I thought they were going with it, was there's a character who every time he hears the song Frère Jacques, that's like his sort of Manchurian Candidate, fucking Winter Soldier, Homecoming, train car, that sort of thing, is his phrase that like activates him. And it kind of did it, but not in the way I was hoping that it would do, was that it would just cut to black and then it would just fade up and there would be carnage around him. And I thought that's where we were going, like it would open up again in that cabin where she's singing the song to him, and then she's just like eviscerated and there's blood all over the place. And I really hoped it would do that, and it just didn't.
That would have been so much better if they get activated, but you don't ever get to see what
you
they're
don't
doing.
ever see what happens.
You just get to see a bit of you get to see them come to as their like everyday people.
Yeah.
The thing is, I really like the like piano teacher storyline. Like her, that through line of the show, and I was like, I'll stop cutting away from, because it's more interesting than I think 90% of everything else that I saw.
Yeah. The one who like the kid finds the Game Boy.
Yeah. Because I think that's more interesting than, oh look, you've got an American in America who was captured by Soviets and then brainwashed, and now you're activating him so that he can cause carnage in America. Like, yeah, cool, we've seen that story. Show us something else.
Yeah, that is the trouble. Is that it's one of those things where it's again like you've seen the parodies of it, so before you've seen the actual thing itself, so it kind of weakens the influence of it. I just didn't go for it. It was quite generic. It was just quite forgettable. I feel like it came out like, you know, when Amazon Prime, Amazon first started making TV shows, and they were all kind of just a bit crap.
Well, yeah, they were all just trying to like cash in on something that already existed.
Yeah,
but this isn't even Prime.
Is it not? I thought it was.
No, it's USA Network.
Oh, okay.
Whoever they are.
I think Amazon might have been pushing this on Prime as like a big seller of like, hey, guess what? We have the Jason Bourne world, which I'm not sure anyone is like.
Yeah, I think USA Network is partnered with Hulu, I think.
I see, that's weird, because Hulu do some stuff that comes out on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I think Hulu have since been bought by. It's all very confusing because I think Disney owns everything, like the planet at this point.
Almost.
But yeah, I think I got the feeling that I was going to sort of bounce off this. Oh, outside of the USA, it was broadcast on Prime.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it was objectively
it was a show that
not
was
bad,
a show,
probably, but not objectively trash. Yeah, just not for me. Much like the Bourne films aren't for me.
Yeah. But then the Continental, also not for me, but less not for me than Treadstone.
Yeah, So I did enjoy this because I think I will probably enjoy anything set in the world of John Wick as long as they don't explain it to me. I like not understanding how that world works and just being like, yeah, that's it. Like, 1 gold coin seems like the right amount for, yeah, I've got like 25 bodies in my house. Could you clean them up and not tell the police? And a hotel room for the night. That is a currency that I could get behind. But I also don't want to know the history of characters that you already meet in John Wick.
Yes. And again, we get to the crux of it, is that with any sort of prequel story, it almost kind of doesn't matter. Because you're like, well, you know that at certain points, this character needs to get to this point, and if they're in a situation that, oh, it looks like they might not make it out of this one, they're going to be fine. They're going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, and considering that one of the main character that is focusing on is a major character in the films.
Yeah,
he's going to make it, so he has no jeopardy. All the characters around him absolutely have jeopardy. Mel Gibson's character has to die because he's not in the films.
Yeah, and again, that's the other thing, is that if you're introduced to a certain type of character, you can go like, well, I know that you're not necessarily going to be around because you're not in the films.
Yeah,
it's the Rogue
unless
One problem.
It plays
isn't it?
like some absolute mad twist towards the end where it's just like Mel Gibson's character goes off to run another hotel.
Yeah,
or
I think that would be less satisfying. But yeah,
and that traditionally is not how John Wick stuff ends. Oh, it's all right. You can just go do something else, like be dead. But I quite like seeing some of the world outside of the hotel, but quite like people who have an understanding of the world but aren't in it. It's quite interesting to see that start to play out. But I also don't want, because there's a whole police investigation into stuff that's going on at the hotel that I think will sort of try and explain stuff, and I don't want to know.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. The mystery that surrounds the John Wick universe is part of its appeal. And the fact that, yeah, like I said, it's this secret society that operates in a certain way that you don't... The whole point of it is it's operating while everyday life is going on around you.
Yeah, but I do quite like seeing that. So I think there's a bit of an assumption in the John Wick films that while everyone like touts about in it that, oh, fucking, it's John Wick. It's quite nice seeing that he's not the only highly skilled person in that universe doing murder. And I think it is interesting to see other characters, and I'm fine with it. I would rather it wasn't a prequel. Is I think the only thing that I didn't really like about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that I don't necessarily care how the hotels were set up or whatever.
That's the thing. I don't think it's even the setup of the hotel. It's just how did Winston
come
get into power at the hotel.
Yeah. So that stuff I don't necessarily care about. What I feel like I would like is kind of like a, episode of the week. Okay, here's your characters, be it John Wick or not. Like, if it was a prequel, it could be like John Wick before he was John Wick, before he decides to step away from it and before his wife dies.
But you still need Keanu Reeves for that, because that man hasn't aged in about 30 years. He grew his hair long and got a beard and has done nothing since in terms of aging. Or even like if you did Continental of the Week, where it's the different Continental hotels around the world and just like almost like a day in the life, like or fly on a wall sort of thing.
Yeah, and you could get like different directors, like directors from that country or something, to you could do like the Paris. Do they do one? Oh yeah, John Wick 4's in Paris, isn't it? But like
they've all like the films, and I think even the TV show
Globetrotting.
touches in like they touched points in different places, but
which is amazing when you look at the first one and how stripped back that is. Like you can really see like as they go on that they just start throwing money at it. Like because the first one it's quite contained. Like it's New York, but generally a lot of the action takes place in like a warehouse,
big black room.
Yeah,
it's like, or there might be some water in this scene. And then I think it's 3. The climactic like fight of that film is in like a glass mirrored like skyscraper.
Yeah, that's right. So I was actually putting off watching the Continental because I still haven't finished John Wick 4, but and let's be fair, that film does not need to be 3 hours long.
It doesn't,
like
but they do fill the time.
Well, I still haven't finished it, but I will at some point finish that film. I really do like the John Wick films. This just isn't the show I was hoping it was going to be. Like
I was hoping it would be either fly on the wall, like you just get to see what people are doing inside the building, or you get to see people operating. But I was hoping it would be set like alongside the time we've already seen. No, after the time we've already seen, so it would be more of a sequel side story.
Like I think it would be quite nice if, like, you know, in a couple of episodes he just pops in, like just in the back. You just see him coming in the background, and maybe that's like to signify, oh, okay, this is taking place at the time of John Wick 2, because he comes in and he who's the guy that he fights?
Oh, what if
and
you
they sit
saw
at
when
the
he
bar,
gets
and it's
excommunicated and you see like the start of that bit, and then everyone getting up to go and like, I'm gonna kill John Wick.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Actually, just like, yeah, we're gonna go and try. Like, actually, at that point, I'd be like, okay, if he's not in it, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's like they're trying. Maybe he needs to be in it a bit, but like they're trying to catch this like a really elusive figure. Oh yeah, we're gonna be the ones to get John Wick. Yeah, that'd be great fun.
I think like the thing that universe has almost endless possibilities of things they could do.
Yeah.
And while like I did enjoy it,
one?
I did enjoy it, and I am going to probably finish it. I just wish it was something else.
Yeah, I probably am not going to finish it because, like, 90-minute episodes of a TV show don't need to be a thing, and I don't necessarily want to watch another 3 non-John Wick films.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna finish it. One, for completeness, so that I can say I've seen everything John Wick there is to see. And I think while waiting for John Wick 5, which I don't think we may or may not get, like, it's nice to have John Wicky stuff to watch, because what I think both of these shows did really well, Treadstone to its detriment and the Continental to its benefit, is they really caught the flavour of
Each property.
the shows that they're spinning off, the films that they're spinning off.
Yeah.
Because if the title hadn't been The Continental from the World of John Wick, how long would it have taken you to realise that it was a John Wick property?
Probably like once someone had been introduced as Winston, because there's not many things that I've watched that has a character.
Could be an
called
Overwatch
Winston.
spin-off.
Or a 1984 sequel.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think
you're right.
enough of it would
they do
almost
have,
be immediate.
Visual identity. Yeah, they definitely have that. Particularly like in the Continental, when you're first introduced to the hotel, there's that really long. It's not one shot, but it looks like a one shot where it's going through sweeping through the hotel and stuff, and that's very much like.
Yeah, you find yourself just going like, oh, I've seen this before.
And
I know this place.
I feel like we really have. There is absolutely an evolution between the frenetic, put yourself in the situation action of the Bourne movies, and then an evolution to you're gonna sit back and watch this fight scene like it's a refined dance sequence of John Wick, and I think that they absolutely nailed the visual identities there. Yeah.
Yeah. I figured that would be a nice thing for the non-film student to bring up. That
Yeah, well done.
they both got a really good touchstone.
Yeah, not Treadstone.
No, Treadstone has a touchstone. It's just on fire. But
I liked the Continental a lot more than I liked Treadstone, but I'm probably not going to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think have established that we would rather Continental was something slightly different.
Yeah,
but we'd rather Treadstone didn't exist.
as I'm sure do the terrorists who Jason Bourne is fighting against. If he fights against terrorists, I don't know. I can't remember. I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah, that's the thing. From what I can remember, it's not entirely clear whose side he's on.
So yeah, the next one we're doing, I have not heard of either of these shows, and that excites me because those tend to be the ones where we go, "Oh, this is good."
Yeah, they might be more spooky.
I think they're
Or
more mystery.
mystery, that might. I was saying X. I think the posters of like a lake.
Yeah, they're both on Disney Plus, and I thought these look very similar to each other.
And I think the clearing might be in a forest.
Well,
But in a little bit of the forest where there's no trees.
If there's a couple of things I love, it's woods and water. I've always said that. Hey, we got Miranda Otto, so we have Lord of the Rings alumnus.
Yes.
Alumnus?
Alumni.
Yeah, alumnus.
Alumnus?
No, because alumni would be the plural.
Aluminum.
There's somebody called West Duchovny in Saint X. I wonder if that's any relation to David. Aha! Duchovny is the daughter of actors David Duchovny and Taya Leone. I didn't know she was married to David Duchovny. That's very interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching these two. It should be good fun.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, I couldn't think of another sign off, so fuck you. Bye.